Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel, and welcome to Look Back. This is where we take a look at reviews that I did a year, 5 years, and 10 years ago, and tell you what I think about them now. So let's start with a year ago. First of all, we had Lethal Party, which is kind of like what would happen if you play Russian roulette and drank at the same time, which sounds bad in real life, and in the game, also not good, just a kind of a random crazy game. Then we had Grump. So Grump was a game where you're collecting grumps in simultaneous selection. It's okay, cute little drawings. Cavern Tavern, this one here I think I would have enjoyed a lot more had it been a little bit more streamlined. It's a decent game about serving different people come into a tavern. But as with many of this company's games, they just overwrought it and it seemed to be missing a developer. Then we have Marvel Contest of Champions. Incidentally, now that it's been a year since reviewing this, I've been playing the online version of this where you fight and stuff on the iPad. It's kind of fun as a way to pass some time. But that doesn't make me change my mind about the board game. The board game is really interesting. It's just that it doesn't have a ton, it was almost too complex for what it was. Then we have Pinball Showdown. I like pinball games. Pinball games are fine. And let me rephrase it. I love pinball. But a pinball card game that actually invokes a bit of pinball, it worked. I liked it. Barker's Row, this is one where you're trying to put on a sideshow here and have people come to your sideshow. Some really good concepts here, a little bit of component mishaps. The components aren't as strong as I like them to be, although the artwork itself was very well done. Then we have The Mind, certainly one of our more controversial reviews where we might have said that it wasn't much of a game. Still not convinced that it's a game. But I do understand the people who say, who cares? Right. So The Mind is something that's actually gone up for me because when I bring it out to people, there are some people I've shown this to who absolutely love this. I like it. I think it's fine. I don't know that I want to play it more than once in a row at any particular time, but it is an amusing thing to bring out, especially for people who've never seen anything like this before. Mindo, or Mindo, I'm not sure how to pronounce this. This is a little logic game for kids. I don't even know if it's necessarily a game, but just putting things in the right spots. Then we have Mistborn House War. Mistborn House War is based on the Mistborn series. I really like that series. And in this game, you are all the bad guys, but you are trying to basically go back and forth. It's a little bit of a take that in this game, trying to control different people and defeat them. It has a different feel, but what I really liked is it brought the theme of the books out. And as someone who really likes the books, I was glad to see this. Micropolis, still solid game about building an ant thing. Very simple drafting game as you're putting down different sections here into your own ant colony and just trying to score points various ways. Very basic, but the theme, the components, and the speed of the game all made it very good. 5 years ago, I took a look at Night Eternal, a vampire-style game which has this very dark theme, but was very light and a little random on the side. Galactic Strike Force. Now, this is a game a lot of people haven't heard about, but it's interesting because it could have been the next big thing. It was made by the same folks who made Sentinels of the Multiverse, and this was a space version of that game. Problem is, there's way too much upkeep. This one hasn't held up very well for me over the years. It's not one I want to go back to because it would be better, I think, as a computer game. It was also super hard. It was one of the first, uber hard cooperative games that I had played. Bruxelles 1893, this is a standard Euro game, very boring looking board, but trying to manipulate cards and dice, but cubes and all that thing. It worked pretty well. I think I would have probably given a higher rating if I just thought it looked better. Happy Birthday, this was a sequel to Crappy Birthday, same thing, giving presents to people, except in Crappy Birthday you are trying to give them the best of worst gifts. Here you're just trying to give them the best of best gifts. And you can mix the two of them. It's fun. I do wish they had made expansions for it though. And finally, Fairy Tale. Fairy Tale, a great drafting game that I like a lot. You'll notice it dropped a bit. You know why? Because there are so many other pure, great drafting games that are out there that Fairy Tale hasn't held up as well. It's still very good, very small drop, but that's why. 10 years ago, I took a look at Empire Builder, the crayon rail drawing game. I still leave it at a 7 for now, but this game sorely needs to be reprinted. It needs to be done with excellent components, and it needs to be streamlined slightly. It's a really cool concept, really cool idea. Now that Mayfair is gone, I don't know what will ever happen with this game. It feels like this is kind of a game that would be crying out for a Kickstarter of sorts. We'll have to see what happens. Cutthroat Caverns, another 10-year-old game, semi-co-op game. I very rarely like semi-co-op games at all, but this one, you're all going through a dungeon trying to hit each enemy with the final blow. The enemies are big, mean, and nasty. They've made a huge amount of expansions for this game. Or not a huge amount, but a lot of them. A lot going on. If you've never played it before, you should try it at some point. And that's it. Those are reviews I did 1, 5, and 10 years ago. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching Look Back on the Dice Tower.